All right. This is my first time going live. This is my first time going live on two different apps at the same time. So I'm live on TikTok over here and I'm live on YouTube over here just because I wanted to see what the tea would be. But we're going to just get into doing skincare, my skincare routine because I'm down bad right now. Like I feel disgusting. I'm nauseous. I went to an event last night or yesterday all day, and I drank heavily because I'm an animal. And oh, hi everybody on YouTube, hi everybody on TikTok. Yeah, I aggressively drank like an animal, so that was that on that. And now my head hurts. I went to the gym. I felt like I was gonna vomit. We love a skincare routine, yes we do. Oh God, come on. There we go. Yeah, I'm like I need to take care of myself right now because I have such a headache. I'm off today, so we're gonna just get into it, and I'll answer some questions from both apps. So I'm in YouTube over here, and I'm on TikTok over here. Struggling to get the band on. No, this is the hardest part, getting the band on. So once it's on, we can get it going. So I'm just gonna start. But yeah, I went to an event yesterday. It was super fun, super cool. Met a lot of cool people. Drank a lot of good drinks. It was for Celsius. Um, Oh, I know you're supposed to use like a cotton ball for this, but I got the wrong ones and they're too small and they like don't work. So I'm just gonna use this for toner, my hands, because I don't care. But yeah, I was just in Australia, so I just got back, which was super fun. Definitely a bucket list thing for me, because I've always wanted to go to Australia. I actually plan on going to Australia back my senior year of college. I was going to go my first semester, but then my second semester I was going to LA, so I would have been away from my college campus the entire year, which I didn't like. Um, but yeah, I finally got to go, which was really cool. And it was Justin's first time out of the country ever, his first time international, which was super cool. Hi, everybody watching on YouTube and hi, everybody watching on TikTok. What's up? Do I like guinea pigs? I mean, I don't hate them. I don't have anything against them, but like, there's really no purpose for me to like get one or anything. Australia's on your bucket list. Is it worth it? Yes. Yeah, so I went to Sydney, Australia. Sydney was beautiful. It was so just like I don't know. It was super eye opening to like how different like we are here in the States versus like there. Like people were just like happier and nicer. I personally thought public transportation there was so much better, but people were like, it's terrible. I'm like, well, in Sydney it was good. I mastered it. Me and Justin were able to travel everywhere. Things were just cheaper in Australia too, which I loved, but we got to do so many things. So we got there, we landed, and we did oh my god, we did so much that like I can't even remember like what we started with, but we got to one of the biggest highlights for us was that we got to climb the Sydney Bridge. So that was so much fun. I wasn't even scared one bit. Like that shit is high, but like we were not scared one bit to climb it. It was so fun. You're like harnessed in and you just like latch onto the side of the bridge. And as you're going up, they basically just run down like facts of Australia. And like we had a really small group. So it was us two and then another two girls who were from Germany actually. So we got to, have a personal one on one kind of with our person. And he gave us a ton of advice on what we should do and all that stuff. But yeah, it was super fun. I want to go back. Me and Justin were like, we should move here. But everybody does that when they visit a new city. Me and Justin have been dating for a year. Where was my favorite place in Australia? Well, we did the Coogee to Bondi Beach walk, which we got to see the entire coast. Not the entire coast, but a good part of it. There's so much more to it, so I'm completely wrong about that. But we got to see a lot, which was very, very fun. Oh, I grabbed the wrong eye serum. It's fine. I'm not gonna do it. We love Justin here. We love Justin in this house. I'll just do the eye stuff later because I grabbed the wrong one. I grabbed the one that like this one you're supposed to use at night and it's for like depuffing, and I just like didn't grab the right one. I wanted the other one, but it's fine. It's okay. Just one of those days. I don't use foundation. I don't use makeup. This is just like skin stuff. I don't need makeup. I don't want makeup, but power to people who do wear it. Just another thing I would have to do, and I'm just figuring out skincare, so let alone having to do an entire thing of makeup too. But this is just for self-care. I'm not going anywhere. I just need to take care of myself because I feel like shit. What time is it? What time is it? It's like 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I saw you recording a video in Sydney. Where in Sydney? We met at Dirty Laundry. No way. I haven't been out in a while. We have Australians in the chat. Yeah, Justin tried to do his Australian accent, and it was the funniest thing. He actually did it on our bridge climb, and he didn't even realize that the way he said shark was like an attempt to be Australian. And it was very, very comical, and he thought he was like, I'm just trying the accent. I don't watch Outer Banks. I've never seen it. I was so nervous to meet you at VidCon last year, and it's 3 o'clock. Oh, it is 3 o'clock. Jesus. Time's flying. Hugs to you, don't feel like shit. Tell Amanda Paolo says hi. Is the ocean pretty clear compared to here in this? Yes, the ocean was super clear. I posted it on my stories, and there's a highlight on my Instagram stories of all the things we did, and the water was so clear there. It was so blue. And that was one of my favorite parts, was like doing that beach walk where we got to just like be along the water the entire time. It was so fun. And just like we did a lot of walking. Like I think we averaged like 15,000 steps a day, which was like nuts. But again, it was fun. It was just a lot of fun. We also did what else did we do? Trying to think of, well, it was World Pride, so we went to the Pride Parade, obviously, and did that. And that was nuts. That was the first World Pride I've been to. I went to like the LA Pride here and the WeHo Pride. But the World Pride was everybody obviously from all over the world, and it was, the streets were shut down. People were everywhere. Like you couldn't even get out of where it was because they shut down one of the train stations purposely so that it wouldn't have too much traffic, and it forced everybody to walk to the nearest one to them, so it split up the crowd essentially. It was a long parade too. There were over 200 floats, and we stepped away at like float 150. I was like, I can't stand here anymore. My back was hurting. I'd use the bathroom. But to everybody who stayed for it, like, congratulations. I cannot stand for that long. But yeah, that was great. And then yesterday we went to a Celsius event in like Malibu, which it was just really cool. It was like right on the beach. They had a bunch of like little canopies with like beds and stuff like that. And also like chair swings and stuff like that. It was definitely beauty influencer focused, because like a lot of people were just like very pretty. I'm not gonna say they don't have personality, but they're all just very pretty. A lot of drinks, a lot of Celsius, and there was a after thing for it. It was like an after party, which I didn't take any videos of because I truly did not. I was just having fun. I didn't need to take a video of it. But yeah. What city did you visit in Australia? I visited Sydney. I had the same headband but in white. It's from I Do Care. I Do Care. Like DEW. Like do. Is mayonnaise an instrument? That's so funny. SpongeBob. Do you like dogs or cats? I like dogs. I'm allergic to cats. What's the biggest culture shock you had? I mean, there's really not a big culture shock. I mean, we were just shocked in general because we're not used to being international. And one thing was that, well, the public transportation costed like $1. Like the train, I think in local areas only costed $1, but like to get to the airport, it would have costed us $20, which was the same as just getting an Uber. So we just got an Uber to like not cause any problems. So like we could just get in the car from our hotel and leave. Culture shock wise, like, I mean, it wasn't like culture shock, but like they have a very like, they all do tap to pay, which I think is super efficient. Like there's like barely any need for cash there, which was super helpful because doing like the exchange and stuff like that stresses me out. I went to Spain and Italy when I was younger, and doing the exchange by myself was super confusing. And also I had like money that I came back with and didn't know what to do with it. But yeah, that wasn't really a culture shock though. The portion sizes of food are very small. Like I was saying to Justin, like I love getting nachos, and like nachos here, like the plate is like massive versus like there, it was like a plate of nachos was like that big between the two of us, which I'm fine with. I didn't feel like crap after I ate it. But ultimately, that was definitely an eye-opening experience. Like that's why there's a health problem in the U.S. I feel like we're like essentially like gorging ourselves every day because the portion sizes are so big. Um, it's very clean. It was very clean in Australia too. Um, which here it's like things just like the cities just like smell bad here, whereas Sydney was like super clean. Um, the Opera House is not one building. I just figured that out too. The Opera House is multiple little buildings next to each other, and if you put them all together, they make like a perfect sphere. And apparently, it was based off of like an orange, which like what? It was something about like how there was like a vote for what the opera house should look like, and like one person didn't show up in time, and when they showed up, like they voted on something else. It was like a whole story that our tour guide for the bridge climb told us. I can't remember it. My brain just isn't working today. um City smells bad, me at Philly. Yeah, cities do smell bad. Oh, what happened over here? I've never gone live on YouTube, so I truly don't know what's happening. Are you mad about the drag queen ban in Tennessee? I don't get the purpose of the ban. I think it's silly, very very silly. People just want to be terrible people. What did you think about not tipping? Yeah, the not tipping thing, I guess because like they pay their servers a living wage there. Whereas like here, I know when I was a server, I only got paid like $7.50 an hour because they were like, you're making tips. And I'm like, yeah, but sometimes like the tips aren't good. Like people like, I don't know. I think if you're getting paid a living wage, you're more inclined to like be a better server. If you're operating on tips, like you could have a day where you're like, I know I'm not getting a tip from this table, so why am I going to serve them good? And that just kind of like counteracts the whole thing. Whereas like they're like, I'm getting paid $25 an hour to serve. I want to be a good server, so I keep my job because I'm being paid a living wage. Which personally, that would motivate me if I'm getting paid $25 an hour to serve. Sure, you could still tip there. We tipped for. There was one thing like I tipped 15% at a restaurant because we got like a ton of food, and we were honestly sitting at the table for 3 hours. So we're like, oh, this poor girl. Like, I mean, she's getting paid a living wage, but we're like, she is really great, so we might as well tip her. Um, but yeah, favorite skincare product. I'm really liking this one. It's like a moisturizer. It smells good, feels good, and I always use this too. It's like a serum. This is the serum. Serum. Sorry, I forgot I'm doing two cameras at once. Ruby. I feel like I just raised your risk of tipping would be mandatory. Yeah, like if I was paid a living wage as a server, I would be a good server. When I was working on tips, I would know what tables weren't going to tip me. Like if I got kids, they weren't tipping me. Like that's just how it worked. And then I was in turn mean to them because I'm like, here's your food, you little brat. But yeah, so that was fun. And now I'm like, my head just hurts from being hungover. This was faster than I normally do skin stuff. I think I just like went through it and did it very, very fast. Do you know Jarmy, the hairstylist? I don't. Do you watch Outer Banks? No. I don't. Would you ever show your room on TikTok? Probably not. Because people are weird and can like find where you live just based on like one thing. So I'm like, I'm not gonna show anything. There's this girl on TikTok, her name's Jackie Aina, and she talks about how like she never shows her apartment like in or her house in full. Like she'll just show like sections of it or pockets of it because she knows people are like super creepy and investigative and somehow are able to find it without her even showing like a massive part of it. What am I doing tomorrow? Nothing. Nothing at all. Like this weekend is like chill, doing nothing because we just got back from a week-long trip. Spent a ton of money. I'm exhausted. I need to recoup. I need to clean my room. Just like get my life together. I unpacked already. I think I feel like this is a really great quality is like when I get back from a trip, I instantly unpack. Like I'm like, I need all my stuff in its proper place to have some sense of normal. Some sense of normalcy again. Hi from Newfoundland. Hi, I love your videos, your vibes, everything. Hi. Would you ever come to visit Seattle? Yeah, Justin went to Seattle to visit a friend and he loved it and he was like, we have to go. And I was like, yeah, if we have a place to stay, of course I'm gonna go. but I heard also Seattle's very clean, also very like advanced in like technology. Like he had a video he posted where like they had like a conveyor belt or like almost like a vending machine for cars, where essentially you parked your car in a parking garage. It went on like a conveyor belt, and then like you put in like the number of the space it's in, and like conveyor belts back to you. That's crazy to me. That's wild. Um, but yeah, that's nuts. Do you wear makeup? No, I don't. I don't think I only did for Pride, but I did like different colored stuff, but I don't actually ever wear makeup. I do my skincare. That's really all I do. Um, I instantly unpacked too. Yeah, same. I thought you were Carter Kench. No, people say we look alike. I don't think we do. Do you think cheese is flammable? What country do you want to go to next? We were actually talking, so we met two girls. They were a couple, and we became really close with them, and they are very much like travel influencers. Like all they do is travel, and they were like, we need to bring you to Thailand. Like if you want to be culture shocked, like Thailand is the place to go. They were already telling us to, like, they've been to Thailand. I think one of the girls has been once, and then the other had been like 7 times or something like that, so they know the ins and outs of it. They did say it's a little bit different than Australia, where you do need cash. Like you need to like actually pay for things in cash sometimes. There's also like bartering in Thailand, where like you can like, they're like, this costs this many baht, I think is their type of money, and you can be like, no, I'll give you 5. Like basically it's like, and that's like 30 cents in US dollars. um Hi from Britain. What's my favorite color? Blue, like a ocean blue. Pure blonde. Yes, pure blonde. I don't see how you look like Carter. I don't look like Carter at all. I hate when people say that. It's just like, we're two separate people. We do two separate things. I'm 26. He's like 20. Like we have no, like, I've met him before, and like we don't even look like. We're both just blonde hair, white people. Like that's it. I'm going on a plane for the first time 4 days. Do you have any tips? I'm so nervous. Definitely, if you're nervous, take like, I don't know, sleeping pills. Like I always take melatonin. They kind of help if you're like nervous. Like you'd rather sleep than like be awake for it, I guess. Definitely tell like the crew, be like, hey, I'm a little anxious. Like they'll hopefully like take care of you. Do you have any weird food cravings? No, I used to. I did this one thing one time where I took jelly and put it on cheese. I don't know why. It's like almost like a charcuterie board essentially, but um, hi from Melbourne. Are you still in Australia? No, I'm not in Australia anymore. I'm back in the States. We were there for a week. We arrived like on Friday, Australia, and we left Wednesday, Australia. We took off Wednesday, US, but then like it's like time traveling, because we literally left and like it was 2 days later, and then when we came back, it was like reverse. Um, I think it's because you and Carter have the same hairstyle and eye color. We have very different hair though. Like his hair is like one way, mine is different. Well, maybe one day me and him will do a video together and be like, hey, we're different people. It's like 18 minutes off in this live. My favorite food, nachos. What would you rate your experience? My experience in Australia was easily a 10 out of 10. We do want to go back though, because there was so much to do that we didn't get to do. But again, like we only had a week, and in a week we crammed so much. Like normal people on a vacation will do one thing a day, whereas like they'll eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner and do one like excursion or one thing a day. Whereas like we ate breakfast and did like 5 things, and then would be like, oh crap, we have to eat dinner, and then we'd eat dinner. Just because we were just like so like active with everything. We were like, we need to do this, we need to do that. Like we were up early getting to things. Like it was honestly a very active trip where we tried to accomplish as much as possible in a short amount of time. You should totally go to Brisbane if you go to Australia again. Yeah, people are like, you have to go to Brisbane and Melbourne because they're very different than Sydney. We just really liked Sydney. I just liked how it was very touristy because we stayed on the harbor, but like, of course, every place has its touristy areas. But again, I just really liked how close in vicinity a lot of things were to us, and we were able to just like walk to things, catch the train from the Circular Quay. Like there was ferries, like there was a tram. Like we had so many options of like ways to get around the city. We did want to go to Manly Beach for sunset. We ended up not being able to, but you can take a ferry from Circular Quay to it, which we were like, next time. There will be a next time. We're manifesting it. Someone said my favorite kind of cheese. I love provolone. Oh my God, I'm jealous of your skin. I wish I had it. Well, I just did my whole routine. how long was the flight from where you live to Australia? So the way there, the flight was 14 hours and like 50 minutes or something like that. So we actually went with United, and United put us into like very good seats, like the ones that lay down. It was like the business class, and if we didn't have those, I think we would have been miserable. But luckily, like that was a perk of like I have to post a video for them, which you guys will see soon. But like that was like a perk of getting to work with them, was like they showed us like how like we got to experience these different things. Um, and yeah, it was super nice. We got to like lay down, watch movies, all that stuff. And then on the way back it was like 13 hours and 50 minutes, but we also caught like winds like perfectly, so we got back super early, like a lot earlier than expected. The only issue was that we got back at like 5:30 in the morning and we landed, but we weren't allowed off the plane until 6 because customs, the international customs doesn't open until 6 a.m. So we had to stay on the plane until they open, which I thought was weird. I feel like it should be open all the time if flights are getting in like at those times. Um, where did you go? We went to Australia. But yeah, so the flight was definitely long, not for the faint of heart. But now I feel like every flight that I take to like New York, which is like a 5 hour flight or 6 hour flight, is gonna feel like nothing in comparison because like I'll watch 2 movies and the flight will be done. Um, how many places have I traveled to? I've been to Spain, Italy, and now Australia. Not many, so I definitely want to go to more. I think that we caught like the travel bug. We were saying like we're like, oh, like we definitely want to go to more places. And since we met this couple that we're now friends with, they were like, we want to take you to more places because this is what we do. Like they have traveling down to a T. It's all they do. It's their content, and they were just so great. We also met a ton of other travel people who all happened to be in Sydney at the same time, which was great. Um, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. But I'm gonna go take a nap because I have a headache. But yeah, tried going live on 2 different platforms at the same time. Very difficult to keep up with both sides, but cool. All right, bye guys. How do I